chance to claim his third NFL MVP award at the 14th Annual NFL Honors. The other finalists, Buffalo's Josh Allen, Philadelphia's Saquon Barkley, Cincinnati's Joe Burrow, and Detroit's Jared Goff.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
And now a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that never worked.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
And good morning to you, and welcome into the Blitz. I am Joe Hunk. He is John Abraham on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester. And don't forget, as we are getting it set up right now, you can also watch us live on WCCN TV, where we are making even more adjustments, mainly because John has a new camera on him.
Joe, we'll never get fully adjusted.
No, we're never going to get
I
fully
feel
adjusted.
like this is just the way the show is nowadays.
No, we literally every single day, it's all right, we're winging this sucker until we can get everything set up. But no, John has a tracking device on him. It's not on his ankle. Kind of, so it's at least on the face. Look, man, first thing you hear when you think of tracking device, that's exactly what you think of.
Maybe for you.
Okay, yeah, maybe so. No,
maybe when we do the prison basketball game, which no, there won't be any fragrant fouls. That's
or
one thing.
flagrant.
Fragrant
means that nobody's going to get sprayed with any cologne.
It's going to smell real good.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be going into the fourth. It's going to be really tight. But I'm telling you, they're going to smell good with those fragrant fouls.
Somebody brought the Febreze.
Yeah, also, I did not realize this because I got the Hawk worked on yesterday.
It looks shorter.
It's much shorter.
It's a lot.
I didn't realize it until I saw the picture.
It's still tall in the front, all right, but whenever it gets to the back, it kind of starts sloping down. I mean,
I'm looking at it now on camera, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, man, this thing is because look, I'm right-handed. All right, now this is definitely.
Did you do it yourself?
No, I did not do this myself.
Okay.
I did not do this myself, but I'm right-handed, and so when I go to the girl that cuts my hair, she noticed and she looked at my hair. She's like, "You realize it looks like on the left side that your mohawk, it has like a little indentation on it from where the razor kind of goes a little bit too far in."
Yeah.
And my wife had been telling me this for weeks. It's like, yeah, you kind of need to hold off. So this mohawk is under construction right now because there were two options: shave my head and just totally start over, or go in and try to let hair crawl around the sides of this thing kind of grow.
Yeah.
And so yesterday, whenever I went and got it touched up, the first thing she says is, "Yeah, I can see you're letting it grow, but I can also tell that you're a righty."
You should get like a blue tent to put over it, just for the time being while it's getting constructed.
Yeah, just do like the blue tent that we see on the sidelines of football games.
Yes,
just put the blue tent on top of it.
Do
I
that.
did not realize the way that this looked until I saw it on camera.
Did you not look in the mirror this morning, Joe?
No, I did look in the mirror.
You got to look at every single angle. Okay, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm the only one.
I'm not a narcissist.
I look at myself. All right, you don't have to be a narcissist.
Yes.
You just have to make sure you look decent. Okay, you turn one way, you turn the other way. You got to check all sides, and then you got to get the mirror and check the back of your hair.
I didn't get arrested for anything. Is look, you turn to the left, you turn to the right. Like, that's
the way you got to do it, though.
It is like
you got to look good.
I mean, it's still.
I think you look fine. It just looks like the waves from Surf's Up.
It does. It just kind of looks just a little bit. It looks a little bit taller.
You know what
I expected
for my
shorter.
For my birthday cake, I'm going to get the waves exactly like your hair. I'm going to put them on the cake, and I'm just going to put a little penguin surfing them.
look, you could probably do that right here on the side. We could just,
I might get a penguin toy. And put it on your hair.
No. I even told that I was talking to at UAH before softball and baseball season started, because a lot of those players help with the basketball games.
Yeah.
So whenever we're kind of walking around, all the different teams are there. And I found out that the girls for the UAH softball team was like, how long have you had this mohawk? And I said, way too long. Like, trust me, my wife is not a fan. And she says, she goes, if we win the national championship, will you dye it blue?
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, absolutely.
You got to go blonde first so you can get that rich blue.
Yeah, I mean, I will absolutely dye it blue. So apparently now, if the UAH softball team wins a national championship, I'm going to dye my hair blue.
I honestly think it would look good. I mean,
No.
Now, I don't know what it looks like.
You know why you think it'll look good? It's because if you've been to a Titans game in the last 4 years, they have a drummer on the drum line that has royal blue mohawk.
There you go.
He has a royal blue. And so every time he and I see each other, it's like twins.
One of the two guys in the stadium with the mohawk.
Yeah.
That at least.
Yeah. And so, that's the plan with the Hawk is if UAH's softball team wins the national championship, I'm going to dye the Hawk blue.
And there's a really good chance of that. That is a good softball team. I haven't seen them this season, but I remember last year they were putting up runs like it was nobody's business.
No, that not only did they do that, but just a few days ago, as a matter of fact, like in one of their first games of the season, their starting pitcher like either tied the UAH or the Gulf South Conference record in strikeouts. So I think like she struck out 17 batters.
Oh, she'll be at the Rocket City Awards, no doubt about that.
Yeah, it is. And so it's kind of crazy at how good the softball team is. So we're going to be down there for that as well. So I'm trying to look it up because I don't want to not give her the justice that she deserves with the fact that she's also one of the ones that helps me a lot whenever I'm at the basketball games.
You're talking about Katie Brackett, right?
Yeah, that's exactly who I was talking about. I was going back through their Instagram feed because they had a picture set up with all the Ks that she had in the game.
You gotta have the list of the Ks. Dang. If you're gonna bring it up, Joe, you can't just go without saying the Ks.
I didn't plan on bringing it up.
Nobody plans on bringing up softball,
no,
but it's UAH softball, and
absolutely.
the season is underway, and we're going to have some baseball games. We're also going to have some of the softball games on our airways on the Charger Zone. So make sure you guys have the apps downloaded over on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. You'll also be able to find the links on our website as well. But make sure those apps from Apple and Android devices, 97.7 ESPN is the place to get them, as well as over on Talk Radio WZZN. And while you're looking that up, Joe, I do want to remind the people that this show is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com.
Yeah, you can't really see the picture very well through the camera. I mean, we could zoom in, and it would probably.
Do you want me to zoom in?
Yeah, go ahead and zoom in on the picture.
Let's see how far I can
Katie
zoom in on this thing.
Yeah, because she had 17 strikeouts, and so the ones in this video, in this picture, as you're watching on WZZN TV.
Nice.
She had four Ks looking in this game. It was a UAH softball record in striking out 17. Oh, she was on point.
Sorry, I'm trying to take advantage of the touch screen that we got over here.
Yeah,
what I say? Good technology.
Yeah, it was good technology. So John has touch screens. He's got all these different devices that he's playing with. As we're doing that, the phone lines are open to you, no matter if you're listening at ESPN Winchester or if you're listening on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We do have the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Joe, you doing anything for your Sunday party? Little Super Bowl.
So, and this is truth be told, and you and I talked about this last week, and it's already starting to hit me. I am having major FOMO right now.
Why? Joe, you can't always be at the Super Bowl, man.
I know I can't always be at the Super Bowl, but I'm watching right now because I have Good Morning Football on because I'm always watching Good Morning Football. And I have Good Morning Football going on the monitor as we speak, and they have people that are at Radio Row.
As they do.
And Radio Row for the Super Bowl is totally different than Radio Row for literally any other event. In fact, I wish the SEC would take notes from what the NFL does when it comes to Radio Row, because with the SEC, look, the SEC coaches that walk through Radio Row during SEC media days, they are literally just one step underneath having Secret Service surrounding these men as they're walking around. Like, everybody is wanting to protect them at all costs. And you get like 30 seconds with these guys. It's like, can you do this interview in 30 seconds?
True.
Well, I mean, I have a question. We don't have time for that garbage. Whereas at Radio Row, you can walk up to almost anybody and they will all come on the air with you. When I say anybody, I mean, I remember my very first Radio Row that I did with the Super Bowl. I'm sitting there and we are sitting and we're interviewing like Brian Urlacher. And we have Brian Urlacher and we got Jim McMahon and we have another one of the former Bears players all sitting right there. And then behind them, I look over the shoulder of them and I'm sitting here staring and I'm going, this cannot be what I think that this is. Is this what I'm looking at? Like, it's one of those moments where you sit there and you go, I wish I could be a fly on the wall in that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, kind of one of those. And I'm looking over and I'm staring because one of the radio stations that were down from where we were was from Dallas. And so at one point in time, I'm looking over and I see Emmitt Smith, Tony Dorsett, Marcus Allen, and then I think it was Eric Dickerson, all side by side, just talking.
It's a good lineup right there.
And I'm just saying, like, the amount of rushing yards just in between these four men. Just these four men right here in like 10 feet away from me, and the amount of gold jackets, championship rings, just retired numbers, everything. It's 5 feet from me. And I'm not even listening to Urlacher. I mean, that man could have seriously looked at me and says, Joe Hunk, I'm about to light you up. I'm going to come over this table and I'm going to spear you like you were a quarterback that was about to be thrown a touchdown pass.
Brian is a nice dude, all right?
No, he's really awesome. Like, it's totally different
from what he looks like on the football field.
No, he's totally different off the field than he is on the field. He could have said that to me and I wouldn't have heard a word of it because all I was doing was staring at these NFL great running backs and just going, this is what I'm doing right here. So I've got a little bit of FOMO.
I understand that, Joe. I truly do.
And so I'm looking over my shoulder and I was just going, like, this is the first year that I haven't been at the Super Bowl in probably 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, this is kind of weird.
And I remember having the conversation with you whenever I think it was the afternoon blitz or the morning blitz whenever we first moved over. And I mean, if you guys didn't know, Joe's been coming onto the show a long time now.
It was about 2 years before I actually started.
I mean,
with you
pretty
guys,
much since the beginning, Joe's been our guest. And here's the thing: we had a show where we had him on, and he was live on location. Las Vegas, was it?
It was Las Vegas last year.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, because I talked to you guys as I was sitting in the hotel room because 9 a.m. here was 7 or 8 there.
Did we get you on both Super Bowl years?
Yes,
the last
you
two?
also talked to me in Phoenix as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was in Phoenix for that one because that was also on. I want to say that was on Pacific time. So when you guys were on, I was still doing, or I was just now like getting up because we weren't even heading into Radio Row.
Sorry about that.
Nah, it's okay. No. I talked to a few people that day when I was in Vegas, and honestly, you don't sleep much in Vegas anyway, so it was no. You were fine. But no, I am. I'm sitting here and I have a little bit of FOMO. So normally, whenever I get home from the Super Bowl, because we leave the day before the game, because that's when all the Radio Row stuff is over with. I'm kind of just trying to breathe. Like, I'm just like, hey, let me wash clothes. Let me get all this. Like, I've been on the road for so long. Let me hang out with the family. So we've never had plans for the Super Bowl. There has never been this thought of, hey, you know what? Let's do something for the Super Bowl. So I haven't had to plan a Super Bowl party in like 4 years.
Well, now you got like 3 days, Joe.
Oh,
so start getting this planned. If you want, you can come over to Mi Casa and we can hang out. I got all the football helmets. We can even take some off. You can bring your kids. You can bring your wife. You can bring. You got a dog or something like that. Bring your dog.
I mean, I do, but she's in a box on dust and she's up in the cabinet somewhere, so she don't.
You know what? I'll go with you. We'll go and bury her up. All right. On top of that, though, you were talking about some of these running back talents and all that. And some of those guys that you named off were actually a part of the SEC.
Yes.
And they also went to the Super Bowl a few times. that is something that I do want to hop into today. A little bit about just the history of the SEC and how many players and what great names have come out of the conference to play in, of course, America's biggest game. On top of that, Joe, there is an insane amount of SEC players in this year's Super Bowl.
33.
And that is practically half of an NFL football roster.
It's over half of a roster because, again, the active roster is 54.
And I want to look at some of these players, which teams are dominating, and of course, if some people claim one more than the other.
Well, and the SEC, they're taking this to heart because right outside of the Superdome, there is a billboard that has like SEC country on it. And welcome back the NFL players that are, former SEC players playing in the Super Bowl and stuff. The SEC is 1000% claiming that. But when you have 33 of the players that are going to be on the field, okay. And that number grew from last year because last year the SEC couldn't claim Oklahoma and Texas.
And Oklahoma is a large majority of
Oklahoma has the highest number of players that are going to be playing in this game on Sunday. But one of those I'm so curious about because it still just throws me for a loop because I'm driving in today and I'm sitting and thinking to myself about it because that's what I do when I drive. I just sit and think about the Super Bowl.
Or you watch things.
Or I watch things. And today I wasn't watching anything.
Good.
And I was driving and I was thinking about the game and I was sitting here thinking like, man, how long has it been since an Alabama player won the Super Bowl as the starting quarterback,
let alone score a touchdown?
I mean, let alone score any points
themselves, not throw a touchdown, but get into the end zone themselves.
And so I started thinking about this, and then this whole thing popped up, and I need to know because I want to know the reason why. And I know it's Thursday, and I know we're still 4 days away from the game, but I am so curious as to why more Alabama fans are not claiming Jalen Hurts. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I genuinely am confused.
Is today the day we take him back? Is that what the phone lines? The phone lines are going to blow up, and they're going to be like, you know what? We claim Jalen Hurts. He is a Crimson Tide alum to the core.
It's confusing to me. So can Bama fans help me out with this? With the man is the starting quarterback, and let's be straight. 99% of America is cheering for this man to win the Super Bowl.
I could a little bit less, maybe 95.
I mean, literally just the state of Kansas and the state of Missouri are like the only two places that do not want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Like, this is an unofficial poll.
And probably New York.
Yeah. I mean,
New York doesn't want him to win.
I'm so confused by this as to why more Alabama fans are not claiming Jalen Hurts.
I'd say the city of Dallas probably doesn't want the Eagles to win either.
Well, I mean, yes, but if you're talking about having to pick A or B, I mean, look, let's not hate.
I think those fans are more.
Which one does Dallas hate more? The team that left the city and went to Kansas City to be the Kansas City Chiefs, or their rivals?
I'd say the rivals. The Eagles. I would say the Eagles by far.
Both, because both have connections to the city. But no,
it's a question for the Eagles fans.
Okay, so now I'm genuinely curious. Why are Alabama fans and more Alabama fans not claiming Jalen Hurts as he is now in the Super Bowl for the second time
in 3 years?
The second. Joe Namath only made one, and that man is a legend. Doesn't matter how drunk he got on the sidelines. That man's a legend still. Yet Alabama fans are not wanting to claim Jalen Hurts.
I'll claim him.
256-576-4977 as we get going this Thursday morning on the Blitz. ESPN Winchester, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and WZZN TV.
Super Bowl 59 is on Westwood One.
Eagles are headed to New Orleans. Now the Chiefs are on the doorstep of history, going for a third consecutive Super Bowl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Grant. Join Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Laura Oakman, Gene Steratore, Devin McCourty, and me for all the action right here.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation. But did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Long before winter weather approaches, the Alabama Department of Transportation prepares to maintain interstate and state roads that could be affected by snow and ice.
Yeah, we start training and doing maintenance on snow and ice equipment months in advance to make sure everything is ready when the freezing weather comes. We will have crews working around the clock that are prepared to plow snow and remove trees that have fallen into the roadway.
Our mission is to keep roadways safe and open. We try to achieve this by focusing on interstate routes first and then secondary roadways by traffic volume.
If the weather allows, we'll start pre-treating the roadways during the day to prepare for the temperature drop at night.
AlDOT wants to keep the public informed during these winter weather events. The best way to learn about state road conditions is the Algo app and through local media. Brought to you by AlDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
You can now do more without it costing you more. Alabama's attractions have come together to offer the all-in-one ticket that downloads to your mobile device. No matter how many attractions listed on the ticket you see during the time span you bought, your price stays the same. Pick the right ticket option that best fits your schedule, and then enjoy more attractions without spending more. All-in-one tickets for different areas of Alabama are available at alabama.travel and other places where online tickets are sold. Brought to you by Alabama Tourism Department, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, brother, saw you call.
John, I've been thinking about our days during the war, and
I'm on my way.
Thanks, man.
If you are a veteran struggling with depression, anxiety, or need someone to talk to, call 800-273-8255. Press 1. It's private and free 24/7. Call 800-273-8255 or visit vetsforhope.com. Sponsored by the Partners of Alabama's Challenge and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977espn.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine, and temperatures once again going to be on the warmer end of the spectrum. Highs consistently climbing into the lower 70s across the Tennessee Valley. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out, but there are going to be significant periods of dry time, and some of us could spend the entire day dry. Temperatures only dropping into the mid-50s. Overall, much the same as we head into your Friday. A mostly cloudy sky. We are going to be a little bit cooler, but still well above average. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN. The Zone.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
What that guy said. Call in 256-576. 97.7. It's all good. You were jamming out.
Tech 9.
You were jamming out. It's all right. I can't. You know what? I want to sit down, and I think the shot actually looks really good on WZZN TV over on our YouTube page. But at the same time, Joe, I can't see you, and it's because there's so many monitors.
Sorry, I decided to be John Cena today.
Speaking of monitors, Joe, I know you can relate to this in some way, and maybe some of our listeners will as well. Which I'm going to stand up because I can't talk with not looking at you and that little mohawk you got.
Stop making look. All right. I have significant shrinkage on the top of my head right now.
Okay? Size doesn't matter, Joe. I think it looks good.
I didn't think it mattered either until I pointed it out myself. Now size matters.
Regardless of that, I got a 27-inch monitor.
Oh.
Yesterday. I got a 27-inch monitor yesterday, 165 hertz. All right. And you remember we were looking for the TVs for the new studio, and I was looking at one. I was eyeballing it, and I was like, dude, I'm going to get this. So I waited a few days. We got paid, obviously. Responsible with my money. I got it on rollback or something like that. Pretty cheap. I'm just saying there's a few more at Walmart if you guys are looking for some new monitors, especially gaming monitors.
Yeah.
And I plugged that puppy in after getting it set up, and it was straight up like a launch pad. The way that it was just leaning back, and I sat down, I tried to play some games on it, and I will say this, the frame rate, the hertz, those make a difference,
Ooh.
Joe.
No, they absolutely do.
I was playing on a 60 hertz TV before. Now I'm playing on 165 hertz. And if people don't know what that is, that's just like the reaction, or is it the millisecond that
Well, and a lot of times whenever you're a gamer, and I'm saying this to all the parents because I know that there's parents out there that's like, my son's asking for a gaming laptop or my gaming monitor, and I don't understand why it's not that big of a deal.
Well, some of the higher ups also play some games too. So
Well, no, and absolutely, but the whole idea behind it is, especially if you're playing competitively and you're playing online, that the response rate is what the biggest thing that you want to look for. Like the computer monitor that I have been playing on until Christmas was like a 1 millisecond response rate, which for a long period of time was like the best response rate that you could get.
Well, that's what my new one is. So I mean,
right? No. And so for Christmas, my my Christmas present for my mother this year was a brand new gaming monitor. And it was like, now I want to say that the response rate on it is 0.003.
No, that's ridiculous.
No, trust me, it still doesn't help me in Japanese baseball. But it's literally like the response rate matters because when it comes to timing, especially online, the response rate and what the monitor is showing you and connecting to your controller, that's the reason why. Is that you can tell somebody, especially a lot of gamers, just based on, especially like with me and playing like MLB The Show and the Japanese baseball game, I can tell when I'm playing online if I'm playing somebody that's on a computer monitor, if they're on a good computer monitor, or if they're on a television.
It's a little bit of skill difference.
It is. You can tell by the way in which they swing and what the pitches they hit and what they don't hit. And then once you figure that out, you can then adjust your pitching patterns to how you're facing somebody. So the response rate and all that absolutely matters.
I had no idea that it mattered that much because I used to play on a big screen TV. This is my first, gaming monitor. Doesn't have speakers. It's kind of upsetting. I can't just like throw on a game and then just enjoy it with the music playing out of the TV. But outside of that, I used to not believe my roommate because he's this PC snob. All right. And I was just like, I don't really care. I'm hardcore. I'll play on a TV. I don't care.
Yeah.
But no, it is huge because I play a game called Dirt Rally 2.0,
which is how you got into the rally racing. It's very similar to how I got into Japanese baseball, because the Japanese
that game is all about the subtle little touches, the steering, all of that stuff. And if you make any little mistakes, you're flying off the road. I was 10 times better playing on this new monitor.
And a lot of this does, I think there's probably people that are listening and rolling their eyes at this, but the way in which technology and the way that video games are progressing, like we talked about it yesterday with the MLB The Show trailer dropping. It's not just that they're having college baseball teams and all of that in there. It's also about the fact that the graphics, the way that they're designing players, the abilities that the players have match up so closely to what is on the field that even now at Radio Row, I want to say it was the Baltimore Ravens general manager, he even said, look, we pay attention to the Madden ratings.
Yeah.
Because the people that make these ratings and adjust them throughout the year, they have a very good eye in what they're seeing, and the techniques and everything that they're grading the player on is the same thing that we're grading the player on. So one of the things that we do look at, and before you roll your eyes, is a team that made it to the division round of the playoffs. So it's not like they're, the Titans. And so it was a team that actually, look, they're the number one team in the draft. Okay, I can make the joke.
You can make fun of them. They're happy.
They're a team that quite frankly had one of the best offenses in all of the NFL last year, and they used the game. So the game and the realism and making sure that you have it, because I used to play on just my normal television, just my normal one, and I kept not being able to hit the fastball. I mean, that's my jam.
It's tough.
I couldn't hit the fastball in a baseball game. And so finally, one of my friends, Kyle, I call him Bangs, he goes, well, what are you playing on? I was like, well, I'm playing on my TV. What else am I supposed to be playing on? He's like, oh, you need a computer monitor. It's like, why? I have a laptop. Why do I need a computer monitor?
No,
He's like,
it's a huge difference.
And he started explaining the response rate and the card with the video and HD and 4K and all these other things about it. And the next thing you know, he says, here, I got an extra one that I don't use. You can have it. I got it. And literally the very first game that I played on it when I was playing baseball, I then ruled the guy.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, this is easy now.
Look, I would love to
me.
continue talking video games and this monitor stuff, but it's just going to make me want to play more of it.
Well,
I'm just going to pick that up.
Yeah,
I'm going to leave it for a second. But at the same time, I will say for the baseball game, I look at it and I see the young stars that they're trying to promote. Paul Skeens, of course, De La Cruz. This is finally starting to get to the point where MLB is promoting their young players the way they needed to for years now.
Well,
because it's just been Derek Jeter. Oh, nonstop Derek Jeter.
Yeah, and it has been Derek Jeter and those, but now you do have De La Cruz, you do have Paul Skeens, which is an LSU alum. You also have Gunnar Henderson, which for people that don't know this, with Gunnar Henderson, he does play for the Baltimore Orioles. He's from Selma, Alabama. That man, I mean, he graduated from Selma, Alabama, and he got drafted, and he's now on the MLB The Show video game. So, like, there are local ties for it, at least from the state of Alabama, when it comes to those sort of things. But, part of this as well is getting to your phone calls and answering those, because you can obviously hear we do have people calling in right now. So 256-576-4977. John, who's on the line for us?
It's Jeff, and I don't think he's going to be talking any video games.
No,
but,
he's going to be talking. He's definitely not.
Let's see what maybe, who knows? He could have picked up a new hobby. Jeff, how you doing, man?
How you doing, guys?
What's up, sir?
Wonderful.
Not a lot. Just I know it's football week all week, Drew.
Well, yeah, it's Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I know.
Talked some basketball yesterday, though.
Well, yeah, 15 minutes? Probably 5 minutes. I just want to say, I don't really have a preference for either team. I am kind of rooting for the Eagles a little bit because of Reed Blankenship. He's from my alma mater, safety.
Yeah.
Plays for the Eagles. Didn't get drafted and didn't go to the combine like somebody named Byard didn't either, because he was from a little school that nobody thought to do anything. He's just an all pros all, and of course he's playing with the Bears now, played with the Titans for a while. Of course, you remember him, Trey. You remember him, right?
Oh, not only do I remember him, I was at his number retirement ceremony at MTSU.
Wow, you found Murfreesboro? Golly, you found that?
I went to, let's see, I was actually in Murfreesboro a week ago, and I've also been to like 6 MTSU games in the last season. But okay,
really? Wow.
Oh, you've been a lot, Joe.
Yeah.
I will say.
You must have a lot of money or get in free. You must have a free.
The tickets aren't that expensive.
Yeah, well, I know some people.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. But are you guys picking the Chiefs by 3 touchdowns?
No,
I don't think it's going to be that close.
I want to be honest.
4 or 5.
I look at the Eagles team, and I honestly see a team led by Jalen Hurts, who I think has grown enough from the last time these teams have faced off. And then I see a team that also has a guy named Saquon Barkley. And I don't care how good this Chiefs defense can be or how in the moment they are. I still think Saquon Barkley is going to be able to run all over this team. And on top of that, of course, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, come on. Like this has to be the game that this team gets the leg up against the Chiefs. And I think that it's a possibility.
On what they're going to do it. Don't wait they're going to do it is if they control the clock, control the ball. If they
absolutely.
Don't, if they don't, they won't.
No, and if it's like a lot of the other games that Mahomes has been in, you literally have to hold the ball down to the very last second, because you don't even want to give him 5 seconds to try to do anything.
I know, but I'm just saying you're gonna have to, they're gonna have to play well up front, because I know they're gonna run the football.
Oh yeah,
they're not gonna throw it every time. But they're gonna have to control the clock, control the football, get first down, keep the ball.
Mm-hmm.
If they can do that and score, then if they can do that and put points on the board, I mean, 7's what you want, but if you can put 3s up there too, but if you can put points on the board, then you got a chance. If not, then they won't. If not, they won't. Because now, are you guys? What about you betting? Are you betting on the on everything?
No, see, I don't do all the prop bets and who's going to win the coin toss and how long the national anthem's going to go. Like, I'm just not that guy. There's too many factors in it.
You're going to go for the proposal at the end of the game, right?
Oh yeah,
Travis
100,
Kelce get on a knee.
I mean, no, I'm betting on the amount of carrots. What are you talking about?
What would that be, about 10 or 15?
I mean, it should be. I mean, it may be the size of the football, to be honest.
Well, honestly, it might be bigger than the Super Bowl ring that they got last year. Who knows?
I mean, what do you think? What do you think national anthem? You think she'll sing the U.S. or Canada's national anthem? What do you think?
Honestly, I'm hoping that she goes with Russia. I think that one would go over the best. I think that will get a really solid reaction.
Nobody can understand that. That's what you understand. I mean, Canadian national anthem, we understand. I mean, I do know the words of that as well.
We go the British national anthem, and God Save the Queen.
You can sign us off with that, Jeff. The Canadian.
I mean, well. You got to get rid of Donald Trump. How about that? Got to get rid of Donald Trump. That'd be the appropriate name. Not saving no queen, but getting rid of Donald Trump would be the appropriate name there. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm gonna do Sunday. I don't know if I'm gonna watch a game or not. But I do. That's always why I root for the Eagles, because of him. Everybody else, I don't really matter. And I understand why fans don't want to use Oklahoma before. They're not going to foot with him. They don't want. They're not claiming Hurts. He ain't a real Bama guy. He didn't stay long enough. What, a year, two, whatever. He ain't no Bama guy.
He graduated from there.
Yeah.
Well, what did he play 2 years?
He played 3. He was there for 3 years, and he graduated from Alabama. That's the part that confuses me, because he was only at Oklahoma for a season.
Well, I mean, still, I don't think they claim. I think they'd rather claim Bryce Young or Jalen Moron. They'd rather claim them two. Ball interception, Moron.
Yeah.
Really claim him. That's who Drew claims. That Drew thinks Jalen Moron, the greatest quarterback of all time.
I don't know.
And Bryce too short as well. Like a Georgia fan told me, I'll never draft Bryce Young. He's too short. I ain't drafted. He's too short.
Still waiting to see that one play out.
If you're going to play midget football, it's drafted. But if you want to play NFL football, no. If you want to play, everything like that. But no, I didn't see where the Vols won last night. I know there was no Tennessee fans. But I do want to ask you something though. This deal about what's they're renovating Food Center new school board. I'm glad y'all finally invested. Mm-hmm. What I want to ask you though is when Kentucky, when they decided to put Kroger's on their field, the Tennessee fans bashed us for putting it on the field, put Kroger on there, and then you put Food City Center on y'all's.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference?
Oh, there isn't a difference.
I was already bashing Tennessee for their pilot thing that they had.
Because they had pilot on the football field as well.
Yeah. But who who's trying to save Neyland Stadium? I mean, who wants that name other than Tennessee fans?
See, now that's the part with me. Like that's so odd. Is it's calling it like the Food City Center? It's like I still call it Thompson Bowling. Like that is. It's, you know what I'm saying?
I can call it Fat Cat Arena because it's Fat Cat people.
Yeah.
And all this stuff too. I know you got your season teaser for the Tennessee Summit. You just can't wait for that to come.
Yeah.
They should have done it. They should have done it when the league first started. Should have put a team in Tennessee. They wouldn't do it. They were stupid. But what I think they won't do it. Of course, they have to play in Nashville. They should take it 4 hours east, put it in Knoxville. Let them play on that court over there. If Tennessee had any sense, they would name that arena after her. Name the arena after her, not a court. That they would name. This guy said the other day he was listening to all these great men's coaches, which I started laughing at him. I don't know what the deal was. Talking about naming after all these great men's coaches they've had. Well, Rick Barnes is one of them. I don't know why. Because Kentucky beat Tennessee and Knoxville the third time in a row. We can get 5 people out of the stands and beat Tennessee. That's how bad Tennessee is. When you shoot 11 to 45 from the three, you don't need to, And they shot 17 of 67 for last night, the last 2 games. Of course, Florida couldn't throw it to the ocean. That's why they beat Florida. They couldn't throw it to the ocean. But Kentucky's won 3 in a row now in Knoxville. But, I digress.
Yeah.
They don't have a point guard. That's 2 out of the last 3 times they didn't have a point guard. Went to Knoxville once. They don't have a point guard right now. That's why they lost to Ole Miss and the other game the other night. South Carolina, I won't be surprised if South Carolina beats them Saturday. I don't think they will.
Wow.
I won't be surprised if they do the way Kentucky's playing. They're just not playing very well defensively, or they just don't have a point guard right now. They're banged up.
That'd be crazy.
Carr's back, but Butler's not. So So as long as they don't have Butler, they're going to be hurting. And I can tell you this: nobody feels sorry for Kentucky at all. They want to see us go 0-30. I can tell you it right now. Nobody wants to see us winning basketball. Nobody does. If you don't think that we're hated in basketball, you can talk about football all day long. But if you don't think that we're hated in the SEC for basketball, I can't help you. I just can't.
You know what they say?
Yeah.
It pays to hate the grades.
Yeah.
Well, what players say, that they don't care what's on the back. They care what's on the front. That's what they hate. They don't hate what's on your back of your jersey. They hate what's on the front of it. I can tell you stories about ex-players and how, especially when they played for Rupp and all the crap they had to put up with. When they went on the road.
We'll save some of those stories for the next time.
Yeah, we'll save some of the stories because you don't like Rupp anyway, but we'll save some of those for the other day. Y'all enjoy the Super Bowl. Have a good
Hey, thanks for that, Jeff.
No, I would have loved some stories today. That's the thing,
Well,
but it
no,
just took a little bit longer than expected to get to those.
As a lot of things, again, I know that a lot of people will be listening to Jeff and like, God, he's so annoying with a lot of things. He's not wrong also about loving to hate Kentucky basketball, because I promise you, if it wasn't for like Jeff, I probably wouldn't even pay attention to what Kentucky was doing.
I got you. And now they're in the bottom.
Honest,
they're in the bottom half of the SEC conference.
well, and also to be honest about the Kentucky side is there's been many years that we have said that people hate Kentucky basketball like they hate Alabama football.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's wrong on that statement.
But Joe, this is the same thing that could be said for this upcoming game this Sunday.
Oh, that's the reason
the
why.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are the team that a lot of people might look at, and even Tom, I hear him bring this up. Why do you hate the Chiefs? Like Andy Reid, he's a goofy guy. I hate seeing the Bunderusk. I hate that. I hate that so much. All right. On top of that, Patrick Mahomes, I have no problems with him. The real problems come from his family.
Yeah,
all right.
No, absolutely.
It's the lineage.
Look, and I will tell you right now,
and his wife,
that you can.
It's not as bad now.
You can tell 1,000% that either his publicity person or if the family has one, because they've become so famous. It's not like his dad wasn't a great baseball player, was one as well. Somebody has told the family, y'all need to chill.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
You need to get out of the spotlight, and you just need to let him do his thing, or you're about to ruin his publicity and your ability
his brother
to have,
too.
His lineage.
I forgot about his
no,
brother.
I thought you were talking about his brother the whole time. No. His brother's.
No, his dad. I mean, his dad obviously get into some legal trouble, but that stuff happens.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like his dad was a pitcher for the New York Mets. He was a pitcher for the Texas
He's
Rangers.
a great. So a lot of people hold him to a different standard, but there's other things that go on, and it's not even that you have to look at these guys like Andy Reid, looking at Travis Kelce and his relationship with Taylor Swift. None of these things are inherently wrong, but it gets to a point where I think there is that fatigue that comes up.
Well,
and you want to see somebody take the crown, other than Tom Brady, of course, who did it 4 years ago.
Well, no, and even with that game, look, the only reason Mahomes and the Chiefs lost that game to the Bucs was because basically Mahomes went to the Super Bowl and the football gods said, okay, you want to beat the GOAT? We'll give you weapons galore, but we're basically going to send you out there without an offensive line. Like
it was the first time the refs have been against him.
Well, no,
they were on Tom Brady's side.
But like he was playing with the third string offensive line because everybody was injured. Like the man, and you can go back and watch that game. He at one point in time, and I know that we saw it a couple of weeks ago with the pass that he made to Travis Kelce, where he was getting blitzed. He moved up in the pocket, he starts falling forward. Yeah. Go watch a pass that Mahomes made in the Super Bowl. If you forget, he was diving forward like he was parallel with the ground.
He changed the game of Madden. He really did.
He threw literally a perfect strike to the end zone. The receiver just didn't catch it.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with this. It's people are tired of the Mahomes thing, even though really I don't understand the hate towards Mahomes. I get the whole call thing, but I will tell you right now, and if you can talk to any NFL player, and especially NFL offensive linemen, they will tell you that quarterbacks that are elite also get more calls than quarterbacks that are not.
And there you go.
And the whole phrase is, and you will hear it, and I promise you, they will tell you this. Oh, you know why he didn't get that call? He hadn't earned it yet.
Well, his name's Case Keenum. No.
They will say he hasn't earned it
But
yet.
do you think Jalen Hurts is to that point where he's earned it? Because this is a guy that's been to the Super Bowl, all right? And he
I
might
don't
be
think he even
0-1.
gets the respect in the NFL.
And that's the craziest thing about it, because this is a guy that, again, has won a majority of his career in the NFL.
Well, no, and that's where I'm curious about this, because not only do I think like he doesn't get a massive amount of respect in the NFL, it still surprises me that in the state of Alabama, and like Jeff was saying, they're not gonna claim him. I don't understand why. Like, can somebody help me out with that? Because it's not like he entered the transfer portal because he was upset and anything like that. The man graduated.
Here's the thing. It's not even the state of Alabama, not just the state of Alabama, but I'm looking over here on SaturdayBlitz.com, which I'm only going to websites that have Blitz on them now, from now on. And I look at the Oklahoma Sooners players and the one for the Eagles. Well, there's two for the Eagles, including Lane Johnson, Jalen Hurts. All right. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're double dipping. Maybe they'll throw them in the Alabama column as well. I go down. Oh, just 4 Alabama players.
Yeah. See, and this is okay. So help us out. 256-576-4977. Doesn't matter if you're listening on ESPN Winchester, if you're listening on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, if you're watching WZZN TV.
Chat's getting wild.
Why on earth do more Alabama fans not claim Jalen Hurts as this man is going to his second Super Bowl in the last 3 seasons?
Roll Tide.
256-576-4977. We will continue on the Blitz next on this beautifully dreary, cloudy, rainy Thursday.
I love it. Woo!
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
College basketball coming up today. Jacksonville State, a 1.5 favorite over Middle Tennessee at the Pete Matthews Coliseum, where the total is 142.5. Super Bowl 59 a week from Sunday in New Orleans. The Chiefs are either a 1.5 or a 1-point favorite over the Eagles, depending upon the sports book. 4 categories almost assuredly determines a Super Bowl winner. The most rushing yards, the more pass yards per attempt, time of possession, and fewer turnovers. Teams that have won all 4 categories, 26-0 in the Super Bowl, 24-1-1. Chiefs and Eagles, Super Bowl 59, coming up on Sunday. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone with my friend Brandon Pilcher from Pilcher's Appraisals. Brandon, what exactly do you do?
Steve, I'm an appraiser. I can value a property for you if you're potentially going to sell, and that valuation could also be used to help you with your property taxes.
Thanks, Brandon. Brandon is licensed in Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia. You can contact him at 706-936-3766. Call or text
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine, and temperatures once again going to be on the warmer end of the spectrum. Highs consistently climbing into the lower 70s across the Tennessee Valley. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out, but there are going to be significant periods of dry time, and some of us could spend the entire day dry. Temperatures only dropping into the mid-50s. Overall, much the same as we head into your Friday. A mostly cloudy sky. We are going to be a little bit cooler, but still well above average. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Sports Talk 24/7, 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
Some good vibes here on a Thursday in. Damn it, I can't say no man's land anymore.
No, it's not no man's land. There's a lot of men around here now.
What is this?
A lot of them are homeless. But yes, there's a lot of men around.
Come on,
What?
Joe.
What?
We don't. Let's not talk on that subject.
Are they going to listen?
They might have a boombox. You know what? That's enough.
No, I can't say that anymore because yesterday I told you before I got to the show yesterday, I dropped my daughter off with her Mimi, with her her grandmother, and I was at the Med Ball corner of the Parkway and Governor's Drive, and I'm sitting over there and I'm waiting and I'm waiting on them to get there, and when I do, I look to my right, I'm like, what is that? And so she gets there, we do the switch off. She gets my daughter. I get back in the car and I start leaving. And what is there underneath the overpass right over Governor's, which is like it's a giant hotel
shopping cart.
There is a giant shopping cart. Okay. Do you know what was inside the giant shopping cart?
I'm not sure. Another shopping cart.
A dishwasher. So they are washing their dishes.
That is a level. That's a level 35 right there.
There's a dishwasher
on the homeless scale. There's also, the person I saw a guy walking around yesterday. He pretty much had he had a shopping cart full, and it might have been the same person you were talking about. It was a silhouette of a shopping cart, but it was just stacked up. And then there was something in front of it as well. And I was just like, now that's a level 50.
Look, I applaud the guy that has the dishwasher. I just want to know how that thing works underneath the thing. That's all I want to know.
Well, if he's got a dishwasher, then he probably has a radio.
And
he probably listens to us.
And I applaud him for that. And thank you for making sure that underneath that overpass is a little bit more cleaner and the dishes are a little bit better. So thank you for that. So no. But yes, that's where we're at, and we're doing this, okay? But no, I will say the majority of them can't. Question for you, pop quiz.
What's up?
Because we're talking about Jalen Hurts, and I know that we don't have much time to get into the phone line, so we're going to do that when we come back at 10 o'clock, 256-576-977. But how many Alabama quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl?
Just one.
No.
No?
No.
0.
No.
3?
Now this is where a lot of, again, our older listeners are looking at the radio right now or watching on WZZN TV, and they're really just wanting to punch you in the face because you don't know this answer.
Well, Joe Namath never won one.
Literally, he won the most famous one.
So like
he won the third most famous one.
The third?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No. He won one. I forget that the Jets were at least decent at one point.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll go with that, and we'll call it a day.
Try 4.
4, really?
4.
Going on 5 here in a few days.
Well, depending on if you want to claim it or not, because I found because I was on the AL.com and they are claiming him. So I'm just like, wait, are we claiming him or are we not? Which one are we going with this?
That's the whole thing.
Okay, because it was the last one to win was not who you think it was. So I'll leave him for last. But Kenny Stabler won one with the Raiders. Namath with the Jets, that whole Super Bowl 3 going to be calling that they're going to win the game, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then, for a lot of people that don't realize this, or you kind of don't put it into this perspective, a former Alabama quarterback won the first 3 Super Bowls because Bart Starr was an Alabama quarterback, and he won obviously Super Bowl 1, Super Bowl 2, and then Namath won 3. And then it was Stabler that I want to say, I think it was 11. I want to say maybe that Stabler won. But the one that people don't know about, mainly because he wasn't a starter, is Jeff Rutledge. And I'm like, wait a second. He basically did mop-up duty in the 2 Super Bowls that he won, but he won them. And he's a 2-time Super Bowl winner, and it's Rutledge and Bart Starr's named beside each other. We talk about Alabama and winning national championships, but Super Bowls. And so it just blows me away that I'm sitting and I'm thinking, like, this state should 1,000% be on the Jalen Hurts train.
I think we got enough Super Bowls that at the end of the day,
have enough Super Bowls.
I know, no, that was dumb. It was dumb. No, we need to claim Jalen Hurts. If anybody's thinking, because he left, he moved on because we wanted somebody else. That's why we don't claim him, guys. We literally wanted somebody else. We had 2 great quarterbacks. On top of that, even Mac Jones was on the roster at one point. We had 3 great quarterbacks. We're not going to use them all.
Hold on, I'm great with him.
Let him kind of move on. In college, he was great.
College, yes, absolutely.
And we'll ride with the guy that we got. And Tua Tagovailoa was the guy that we chose. For Jalen Hurts, he moved on. He got drafted. He's having a great career. But a majority of his time was at Alabama, and he also graduated.
Well, no, he did graduate. Like, if you don't think that he did, he graduated with a degree in communications, and I want to say physical science or liberal science or something like that.
How did he get another year? This is before all this COVID.
But see, that's the other thing about it. It's the same thing with Auburn fans. Plain Bo Nix.
Take him.
He walked across the stage. That's the part I don't understand.
He wasn't that good, though, for Auburn. That was the thing.
Well, he wasn't that good because of the team around him. It wasn't
good.
him.
He was only good when he was at Oregon.
256-576-4977 as we get into that second hour of the Blitz on this Thursday.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by The Good Feet Store. The Good Feet Store, helping people get back to the life they love without their feet getting in the way. Start your journey today at goodfeet.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. As we get ready for Friday night's gymnastics meet against LSU, here are thoughts from head coach Ashley Johnston.
Yeah, it's an exciting week. We are taking on LSU, the reigning national champions, in our house. And so we have a lot to be excited about this week. We've learned a ton over the last 4 weeks. We've had, we're 4 meets in. We have 7 regular season meets to go before we head into a postseason run. And, as I look at going into this season, we had a fairly inexperienced team. And there's no way to gain experience until you just get in there and you start practicing in tough moments. And this team has learned a lot over these last 4 weeks. There's been some smoother lessons. There's been some harder lessons. We've faced quite a bit of adversity, some that we could control and some that we just couldn't control. And it's all about how you respond. It's all about how you come together. It's all about how you have a we over me mentality.
I'll have more in a moment.
This is Christian Miller for The Good Feet Store. I know from playing football at Alabama and in the NFL that if you have foot, knee, hip, or back pain, it can be a huge challenge. The Good Feet Store is designed to personally fit you with arch supports that alleviate and even eliminate your pain altogether. Try them before you buy them. They're in your free, no obligation, personalized fitting, and you can wear them home the same day. So if you're looking to improve your game, The Good Feet Store has you covered. Stop in for a free personalized fitting today. Roll to victory at goodfeet.com. That's goodfeet.com. Roll Tide.
Join us this afternoon for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa Signature Card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
College basketball coming up today. Jacksonville State, a 1.5 favorite over Middle Tennessee at the Pete Matthews Coliseum, where the total is 142.5. Super Bowl 59 a week from Sunday in New Orleans. The Chiefs are either a 1.5 or a 1-point favorite over the Eagles, depending upon the sports book. 4 categories almost assuredly determines the Super Bowl winner. The most rushing yards, the more pass yards per attempt, time of possession, and fewer turnovers. Teams that have won all 4 categories, 26-0 in the Super Bowl, 24-1-1. Chiefs and Eagles, Super Bowl 59, coming up on Sunday. For more, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. We are going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine, and temperatures once again going to be on the warmer end of the spectrum. Highs consistently climbing into the lower 70s across the Tennessee Valley. A couple of isolated showers certainly can't be ruled out, but there are going to be significant periods of dry time, and some of us could spend the entire day dry. Temperatures only dropping into the mid-50s. Overall, much the same as we head into your Friday. A mostly cloudy sky. We are going to be a little bit cooler, but still well above average. Highs climbing into the mid and upper 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WZZN TV. Don't forget to download the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app, because that is where you are going to get a lot of fantastic, not only radio, you're also going to be getting sporting events, because you have baseball going on as far as Trash Pandas are getting ready to go, as pitchers and catchers are going to be reporting around Valentine's Day, because that's the only thing that matters around that day. And you also have the fact that tonight UAH is traveling towards and in Cleveland, Mississippi to take on Delta State, because screw Delta State.
Yeah, we got the boys out there right now. Scott Tyson, Steve Moulton, missing them tragically today. But I will say, Joe, last night you also got to experience a little bit of that Arkansas-Texas Longhorns matchup. I got to say, big win for John Calipari and the Razorbacks.
I mean, it's not as big as what happened on Saturday.
Hell no, it's not. That is a huge win. But this one right here, I mean, it shows that there is some growth that is happening right now with John Calipari. This is yet another SEC win, and this is huge. I mean, this team is starting to get to the point where there is a possible March Madness berth. All right. And they have the record for it. It's just being able to continue winning in the SEC.
The month of February is the most important month with basketball as far as building the resume. And so if they start to win in this month, then that goes into conversation about hottest teams and everything else. But tonight on the Charger Zone, you're going to be able to watch, or I should say listen to, that game between Delta State and one of the top 5 teams in the country, and UAH, as that is going to be tipping off at 7:30 right after the girls game, which D2 basketball is starting to put out their bracketology Obviously, the men's team, who is one of the top 5 teams in the country. I think right now they're either ranked 3rd or 4th in the country at this moment. But you also have the women's team is already being projected to be in the bracket as well, which is a major step from where this program was just a few seasons ago and everything that this team has been doing. Because if you have not gotten out to Spraggins to watch this basketball team play, both the men and the women's, then you are missing out on some fantastic basketball, because I promise you, these teams are tremendous and extremely fun to watch. And these ladies and everything that they're doing on the court right now is something that UAH basketball has not seen in a very long time, especially from the women's side of things. So when you have the opportunity, when the men come back into town, the women and the men always play back-to-back games, especially in conference play. Make sure to head out to Spraggins. Admission's free, so it's not like you got to spend any money. You can go there, admission's free. You can get up there and heckle Steve Moulton right behind his head as you can sit behind him.
Yeah, definitely. And he loves that stuff, by the way.
Absolutely does.
We do need to hop
So
into
do
the
I.
phone lines, Joe, but I really quick want to quiz you on something, since you've been quizzing me so many times.
I do. I love quizzes. I hated them in school, but I love them now.
I hate them, but I also love them because I sometimes get them right. And you know what? That is just as good as hitting a corner just perfectly in a chicane or something like that on my rally game. Regardless of that, I want to ask you a question. So obviously the Rookie of the Year right around the corner, and
like hours away.
Yeah. And Jaden Daniels is probably going to be the guy that takes this thing home.
Yes.
All right? So I want to ask you, which one of these awards is real? Because I feel like we've already seen a few of these Rookie of the Years come out. Fox Sports had one, and now we're getting more that I'm just like, wait, why? Why are we having this? So I got a few different examples for you. We got the Build Submarines Rookie of the Year.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
We've got the TaxSlayer.com Rookie of the Year. Which one of these companies just awarded him a Rookie of the Year? That's what I'm asking.
TaxSlayer.com's bowl doesn't
That's
even
what I'm asking.
matter.
That's
Why
what
should
I'm
the
asking.
Rookie of the Year? Okay, keep going.
The Pepsi Zero Sugar Rookie of the Year. A little bit more complicated than it needed
I
to
give
be.
zero. Never mind.
Ask.com Rookie of the Year. Joe, which one is real?
Okay, so let me.
This isn't supposed to be a huge talking point. It's just a fun little game, Joe.
No. What I'm trying to make sure is that I'm playing the game properly on this. Okay,
Build
so I'm
Submarines,
just going to ask a question.
TaxSlayer.
How many options did you give me? 4?
4.
Are
Normal
3 of the
ABCD.
4 fake?
Yes.
Okay, so there is one real one.
one
in this.
real one.
Okay, because I was like, dude, I don't care about what TaxSlayer is. Just give me my money. That's all I want. I just want you to do my taxes and give me my money so that I'm not poor.
Yeah,
That's what I want.
I don't really care who you think the Rookie of the Year
Okay,
is.
it can't be ask.com. That just sounds dumb. TaxSlayer, no.
Build Submarines.
Build Submarines. And then what was the other one?
Pepsi Zero Sugar.
Okay, so Pepsi being in bed with the NFL is probably the answer, but I am praying to the football gods that we're building submarines. Give me building submarines.
You are wrong. You were almost right, but building submarines is more of a NASCAR thing or anything automotive. So is TaxSlayer and Ask.com back in like the early 2000s. But you know what? You were kind of right, so I'll give you a hand for that one.
It really is Pepsi.
I don't understand why we have to have so many different awards for the exact same thing from different companies. Like, who actually cares?
The only award that matters are the ones that are going to be given out tonight in the NFL. That's the only one that matters. Yeah. Like, that is it. Just like the gold jackets. Like, you know, they're people, the gold jackets that are awarded out tonight, those are the ones that are going to be mattering.
Truly, they do.
It shouldn't be Eli Manning, but he's going to get it because he beat Tom twice. And but he's going, you're going to get all that tonight. That's what matters. So what happens on that podium and on that stage tonight, those are the ones that matter.
You know what else matters, Joe?
Phone calls.
Phone calls, yes.
Phone calls.
And Dennis matters to us. And we're going right into the phone lines with him. Dennis, how you doing today, man?
Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Doing great, man. How about you?
Well, Joe, I got to ask you something, man. What do you think of Leonard Hamilton going to retire at the end there at Florida State? I was wondering what coaching candidates are you hearing for that basketball job down in Tallahassee?
Okay. All right. So let's slow down on this, okay? Because This is Dennis.
You
Dennis,
know what
no.
you're getting into.
No, I knew Dennis was
Okay,
going to ask
okay.
a coaching search question. I just didn't know what direction he was going to go with the coaching search question.
That's how it is.
And the problem is, Dennis, is that nobody right now in the country is thinking about Florida State basketball. I mean, that's the only thing. So I can't give you an answer on who's thinking about it because one, a lot of those jobs are not going to be filled until you see a team make a Cinderella run or you see some of these. That's what it's going to be based on. It's going to be based on what some of these non-Power 5 conferences, even though shouldn't be called that anymore, do in March. That's what it's going to be. And that coach that's hot, that's going to be the one that is going to get the opportunity with this. Now John may have a better answer than I have, because I'm totally thinking about this on the fly. But at the moment, I will say I can't tell you until we see who's going to make a run in March.
Okay, I just wonder. Hey, Joe, I was going to ask you, man, what do you think? What's going on with? I know what's going on. How's the National Baseball Group going along with the Major League trying to get a Major League Baseball franchise? What's the latest?
So the latest on that actually has a lot to do with what's going on in Tampa and Oakland. And I know that the A's have already moved out of Oakland. They're going to be playing in Sacramento this year, but it's still not 1,100 everything dirts and shovels in the ground that they are going to Las Vegas. Like, they know the spot that they're going to go when everything is okay. They know everything about it outside of the final signature saying you can now put shovels in the dirt. Then you turn around and you look at Tampa, and Tampa's been having this deal with the city of Tampa has been having this deal with the Tampa Bay Rays about this stadium in Ybor City that they were wanting to build. And that kind of fell through. And then you had everything that happened with Tropicana and the hurricane, and the city saying, you know what, we're not going to fund getting this thing fixed, when literally we either going to be tearing it down in a couple seasons, or this team is going to be moving and we're not going to waste our money on it. So those are some of the issues that are lying. The reason I say about and talk about those is, before Nashville and or Montreal, or you're talking about Portland or any of the other cities that are kind of up for Major League Baseball teams gets decided, you've got to have those two. The moment that we figure out what is going on with the Rays and what is going on with the A's, then Major League Baseball is going to be able to say we will be expanding, because those cities that you're talking about, your Portlands, your Montreals, your Nashvilles, all of those could be places that one of these two teams could move to if all the deals fall through, especially Tampa, because it makes a lot of sense for the Rays to stay on the East Coast and be able to go to Nashville, where one, they're even closer to their teams in the AL East, and two, they don't have to totally redo all of the standings or all of the leagues just for Tampa moving. And Nashville does want the team. And in fact, they actually, the Nashville Stars group that is coming out with, that's kind of been spearheading this whole thing, they actually just came out with some new merchandise, and their new hat looks really cool. It actually is like, oh, wait a second, I kind of want one of those.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Joe's going to ask you something. There's a lady in AEW I've been real impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
She's a ventriloquist too. You heard of Harley Cameron?
Harley Cameron. I do not know that one. No.
Yeah, she's on AEW wrestling. She's a ventriloquist too. She plays guitar on AEW, man.
Is she the one that was because Chris Jericho's been doing his cruise the past week? Is she the one that was on his cruise performing with him?
I don't know about that now.
I think because the girl that was an AEW wrestler, so that's the reason why I asked.
Yeah, might have been her. I never seen that. Joe, I got to ask you something, man. Ole Anderson passed away last year.
Yeah.
You think Ole would turn over his grave right now, seeing a lady wrestler with a ventriloquist? I tell you, these old school wrestlers, man.
Trust me. These old school guys there's a lot of them that are probably rolling in their grave right now about the way that it is. But at the same time, Dennis, I also think that they're also looking at this as kind of what's happened over the course of the last year or two, and being like, I like the direction that it's going. Like we talked about it yesterday, Dennis. I don't know if you knew this or not, but yesterday was, what'd you say, the 37th year anniversary? Because it happened in 1988. It was the 37-year anniversary of Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant fighting on Main Event where 33 million people watched that match. Like 33 million. That is
That's
more
unreal.
than that's more than all but maybe 2 NFL playoff games last year. So, it's the direction that wrestling's going, the ability that we have now, because with all of the people, and especially adults like my age and even younger than I am, that are wrestling fans, and it's being a lot more fun than what it used to be. I don't know if the ventriloquist thing is going to be the focal point on this as much as a lot of the other stuff that's happening.
I understand. I got a kick out. She's from Australia too.
She is.
Carly Cameron is. Yeah, she's from Australia, like Tony Storm is, and Mariah May's from Britain.
Yep.
England, and all that. Well, Joe, I want to say, I hope y'all have a good day in the Rocket City. And next time you come to Montgomery, let me know. I'll take you out to eat somewhere in Montgomery. Just let me know ahead of time. I'll pay for your.
I think we have I know that you and I have a meet and 3 that we kind of enjoy down there that we'll probably go visit.
All right, man. You have a good
All
night
right.
today.
See you, Dennis.
Does that invitation extend to me? I don't know. He seems like he's a really good friend of yours.
Dennis and I probably talked a lot over the last, I would say, it's crazy, almost 8 years.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So Dennis and I have had this, and he'll call in with those questions about coaching searches.
Oh, I know.
Dennis is a huge wrestling fan, as you can tell. He's also a huge coaching searches fan. Like I promise you, there'll be a point in time football season wise that he'll probably call and be like, man, the strength and conditioning coach over at
he's getting in it. A lot of people stopped really thinking about Florida State after, of course, laying terrible egg on the season in football. But then whenever it goes over, of course, to the basketball scene, I feel like even less people are thinking about that. But Kevin Nickelberry could be one of them, of course, the assistant coach out there at Florida State. But then if you're looking elsewhere, you can look towards Mizzou. And I'm not talking about their head coach. He doesn't want to go anywhere. But I am talking about Carlton Young, who is the assistant. And then on top of that, you could look out to Texas. Andy Ianfield is a possible candidate as well. So definitely something that needs to happen for Florida State to get back on the map. But ACC basketball is probably the least of our concerns.
I'm telling you, that's why we talked about Duke and North Carolina. Everybody's like, Duke, North Carolina. It's like saying Yankees, Red Sox, even though the Red Sox are the worst team in the AL East.
But Duke is still a big name, and that is
Duke
also a team, the only team that has beaten Auburn on the season, which is kind of crazy to think about. The only team to beat the best team is number 2.
But at the same time, Duke also destroyed North Carolina in that game, and that is why I'm saying, and I'm calling it, I'm not going to bang the table, but we already have somebody that does that. We don't need 2.
I was banging this table the other day, dude.
Don't bang the one behind you, because that one will tip over.
I know you've almost fell through it.
I've almost fell through that one twice. Give me Dick Vitale on the call for Alabama Auburn next weekend. If both teams continue to win, give me Dick Vitale. I want him. He is back. I want him on the call, because that game, top 5 matchup between 2 of the best teams in the country, needs to have the biggest name in college basketball on the sidelines.
It's gonna have college game day, or whatever they call it for basketball. I don't know if it's anything different, but either way,
college game day.
The van's showing up. It's gonna be on location, and it is going to be one hell of a game. By the way, Kennington Lloyd Smith, he says it's the Iron Bowl. So I'm just saying, Iron Bowl of the hardwood.
Look, I'm never going to say this outside anybody that wants to call it the Iron Bowl. He's a Georgia fan. He doesn't have any say in this. 256-576-4977. Randall has a question on the chat we're going to get to. I have the answer for him as well when we come back on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and The Blitz.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the big zone deal store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Sea Salt, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, an overnight stay at Gunnersville State Park, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Hello and welcome back into the Morning Blitz. How are you going to close the door and not finish closing the door, Joe?
Because I thought that the door, which again is brand new, because everything in the studio is brand new, I thought that if I pushed it with the force in which I did, it would shut. But I also didn't want to put too much force behind it because I didn't want to slam the door.
No. These doors are heavy, Joe.
Yeah, no. So the door's sitting there and it's just open. It's just open. But it's okay. It's all right. It's fine. It's good.
Come with me, everybody who's watching on WZZN TV.
John's camera that he's using now is motion sensor, but apparently it doesn't want to follow John the one time that he actually wants it to follow. But you can follow us on X at 977 ESPN. You're getting a nice shot of what the studio looks like there and all the wires and boxes as we continue to move into our brand new studio. You can also follow us on YouTube by going and looking up WZZN TV and 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
My favorite way to watch.
That is how you can watch as well.
And on top of that, over on SoundCloud, you guys can listen to the best quality versions of the show, which are absolutely amazing.
Yes. And so on the WZZN TV chat, and that is one way that you can get in on the show simply by going into the chat. We know you're at work. You may not be able to call in and be like, hey, guys, I want to tell you something over here. You may not be able to do that. You may also be able to get into the chat and you can make your little comments there so that we can hear them. It sounded like little comments. Shouldn't say it that way. You can make your comments there where we can read them, as in like John was talking about Jalen Hurts earlier when we were asking like, why are more Alabama fans not claiming Jalen Hurts? He graduated from the school. He has a degree from the school. And he says, look, Jalen Hurts claims Alabama. He wears their gear at Eagles practices all the time. So he's claiming Alabama. So that's why I'm saying more Alabama fans should be sitting there, because think about it. If this was Tua playing in the Super Bowl, do you realize what Alabama fans in the state of Alabama would be like if it was him? And it's not like, that's where I'm so confused by this. What are you doing, by the way?
Sorry, I'm just using the force over here. I'm sorry. Look, I know there's hand gestures you can throw up on this device. See, I just stopped it. Now watch this. No, I just zoomed it in.
Can you stop playing?
I'm sorry.
Just stop playing.
That's what I thought this was all about.
No. This is when we're not doing a show, this is where you don't play during the show.
I'm sorry. I accidentally did a hand motion and it zoomed in on me.
Anyways, that's what John mentioned when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Randall asked the question about a phone call that Brandon made earlier. I'm assuming he made this to Talking Ball earlier this morning. And he said that there was a athlete that ran an indoor mile in 3.48 or 3 minutes and 48 seconds. And then he goes, is that dude really white? He goes, surely that has to be a joke. So I have the answer for you.
Okay.
And I don't know what Brandon said with this. So if I'm telling you something and I'm making a big deal, I'll be like, yeah, I know Brandon told us. There is a North Carolina indoor track runner that just ran a 3 minute and 48.32 second mile. That is the new NCAA record. He did that up in Boston at the Boston University John Thomas Terrier Classic. It's
a good one right there. That's a good one.
It's a big one. Yeah, it's of all the Terrier Classics, that's the biggest one. And so he did this, but the coolest thing about this, as far as the reason why it was getting brought up, or I'm assuming Brandon would be bringing it up, is because this runner, whose name is Ethan Strand, is from Vestavia Hills in Alabama.
Of course. I mean, why not?
And so that's the biggest deal. Even though he's running for North Carolina, he's from Birmingham. He graduated from Vestavia Hills High School. And what was crazy is his mom is actually the former cross-country coach at Samford. And so he was also his father was a graduate of Auburn and the former coach at UAB for runners. So look, this whole family is runners.
Mm-hmm.
His dad was a coach at UAB. His mom was a cross-country coach at Samford. He's running at North Carolina. It literally is his lifeblood. This kid has grown up in Alabama and he's been a runner. He holds the record now for the 3,000 meter run, which he did in 7:30, also in Boston. He's also now, because of what happened the other day, he is now the NCAA record holder for the mile as well. And for anybody that's curious, that is the third fastest mile ever ran.
Wow. I mean, it is indoors. Okay. But at the same time, Joe, do you remember what you ran a mile in back in school?
I do, which is why we're moving on. 256
What were you reading over there? You know the phone line.
Giving my phone number out. 256-576-4977. I was horrific at running the mile.
Really?
Because I'm a baseball player. I have always been a baseball
player. You
got to
run the bases, that's the time.
I've never been anything but a baseball player. I love other sports. My second favorite love of all time, honestly, was basketball.
Wow.
I loved basketball. I was fantastic at defense,
mm-hmm.
horrific at shooting a basketball. Anybody that ever watched me play, god awful. And I know there's a few stories about some of the things that I've done on the court that could probably make the entire area that is listening to 97.7 right now laugh their tails off. But every single time that we would go into basketball practice, obviously I didn't play football for periods of time in high school. And when I wasn't playing football, I then would go into the cross country, or not cross country, but like training for basketball season. We always had to run the mile on Friday. So Monday through Thursday, we did various runs. You would This is total New Hope slang that only people in New Hope will know. We run to the funeral home and back.
What'd you run?
To the funeral home and back?
No, I know.
We'd have to run to the mile and back, or to the Y and back. We sometimes had to run to the highway and back. Like that was all of our conditioning all the time when we were doing this. And then on Fridays, we had to run the mile. I seriously believe my best time may have been like 8:50. I was horrible.
8:50.
I was horrible.
Wow.
I don't do long distance, man. I run bases at 180 feet at a time.
Damn
That's
it, Joe.
all that matters.
This is what's going to happen. We're going to have a training montage.
No.
We're going to have a video up on our WZZN TV, and you are going to get to the point where you can run a mile in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. And you know what? I'll probably be doing good too, because I haven't ran a mile since I was in 4th or 5th grade. And I remember I was running it, and I got, I think, a 5.04, I think, something like that. So I'm trying to get over 5.
Part of the reason that I actually played basketball in high school was just because the conditioning was absolutely amazing for me whenever I got into baseball.
Well, I have
the only reason.
I got you. And I have a list of a bunch of kids who probably conditioned quite a bit.
Yeah.
Enough to where they were able to at least get into a college. And I know yesterday, Joe, we brought up how it was National Signing Day, and the fireworks were out. There were none because they already got shot off.
It was more like a
in
bottle
December.
rocket. It wasn't even a good bottle rocket. It was a
wasn't.
bottle rocket that was half wet and it was expired.
But that's because we were focusing on the big 5-star names nationally, even worldwide. I mean, we had some guys from, like, I think France or something that were getting signed to teams even yesterday. But I do have a list of some of the players around the area locally that did sign with schools. And I wanted to throw some of these kids out here because these guys, I feel like they deserve a little bit of praise for what they're going into. And I will say this, I could have went to some of these schools. I didn't go. I decided to be a radio man. I talk now for a living. So, there's that. Ty Jones from UNA, or from West Morgan, is headed to UNA. He was the only kid that signed yesterday from West Morgan. We go up. We got Sparkman. Of course, we had a pretty great time with them. Joshua Murphy, he's signing.
Is Murph going to Murray State?
He's going to Murray State.
He did his official visit there the other day.
Kid was an absolute beast. He's going to love it up there.
Fantastic kid, yes.
Jaden Chambers, he's staying in town. This is great. He's going to Alabama A&M. Of course, we're still waiting to see the rest of that defensive line.
Oh, the rest of that defense
and what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
But that'll come in time. Parker.
It happens when you're only a sophomore.
Parker Kemp, the center. You know what?
Oh, Parker.
This is a team.
His mom, who was amazing to us all year.
This Sparkman team, for whatever reason, just continues to shell out some of the centers.
There's one that I know his mom wanted to go to.
Okay.
And I'm not going to react bad or good, depending on what you say, because I'm not. God, who is the mom? Anyways.
Well, he's going, Parker Kemp's going to Lyon College, and I don't know where that is exactly, but I'm going to find it right now. It is in Arkansas. So he's going to be hanging out in Arkansas. Make sure he puts his seatbelt on because it gets bumpy as soon as you get past Memphis. Jaden Scott. Remember?
I do remember.
I got to see a lot of Jaden Scott.
Got to see him for about a quarter now.
And it stunk because this is. I'm not even, you know what? He looked up to Jalen Milroe and his abilities. I think Jaden Scott has a little bit more abilities than a guy like Jalen Milroe at his age, at least. All right. This is a kid that every time I can compare him to the athletic abilities. I can't say enough for the arm because I haven't got to see enough of it because last season, all he did was run the football.
Yep.
This season got injured in the first game of the season. He's going to Huntingdon College.
No, it's Huntington.
No, there's a D unless this site is it's Huntingdon. That's Huntingdon.
I know what it's spelled.
Huntingdon.
You pronounce it Huntington because it's down. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's down in Montgomery.
It is that one.
Yes, it's down in Montgomery. It is absolutely.
So Huntington.
My daughter's my son's preschool was actually right beside the campus, so I drove through it every single day. Yeah.
Well, Rylan Edwards is also going to Huntington. Antonio Prater, our boy on the defense, he's going to Greenville University. Justin Rainey is going to Ottawa University. So good for those guys over at Sparkman. If you're looking at the Pigsaw area, you get Luke Gilbert, and he's going to Jack State, baby. I don't know why I was like looking at the name for so long, and I was like, what am I gonna say? Gilbray? Gilbert?
Time that you just spit on that, and we're going over here and Luke
Gilbert. That's his name. He's going to Jack State, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I tried my best. All right. James Clemens has a large amount.
There's
of
another way of
football
describing
players.
it. They got a lot of guys that when are going a few places.
Remember AJ Little? Remember that kid, number 4, super fast. He's going.
That doesn't just that you could describe that for about half that wide receiver core.
No, yeah, you're not wrong, because I'll get to another one here in a second. He's going Air Force, all right, and he'll also be he'll be joined by his buddy Isaac Achenbach, who is also headed to Air Force.
I'm telling you, like the Air Force thing, I think this is going to be awesome. They're going to love Colorado.
No doubt about that. 220 pounds, Achenbach is. And now I want to talk about the kid that I was talking about that, is a part of that wide receiver core, Ty Dowdy. This kid had talent, all right? And he still has this talent,
Yeah,
all
still
right?
has it.
But this just shows you, this kid looked like a 3-star, 4-star, all right? He's going to Mercer, which isn't bad, but it's like you see some of these kids and the abilities that they got. I want to see where he can go from here. This is a kid that could utilize the transfer portal in the future after 2 solid seasons at Mercer.
Well, I think a lot of these kids that did sign yesterday and what they're doing is because now in college football, the National Signing Day and the recruiting class, yes, you want all these great players, but the transfer portal is becoming the focus right now.
No doubt.
So going somewhere where you can get the reps and then transferring into a bigger one, that is kind of the direction that I think a lot of the students are going to be doing that's going to benefit them the most, where they may start off at an Alabama A&M, a Mercer, a Huntington, and then, again, those schools like Huntington, for instance, that is in Montgomery. It's close to Troy as well as Auburn. And even UAB, if you wanted to go that way, which right now I wouldn't do that. And so if you want to go one of those schools, then that's going to be a close in-state transfer that you can make. And it obviously credibility as far as how much time you have and all that would be a little bit different.
No doubt. Cam Berry's going to Carson Newman University, as well as Micah Douglas. I believe he was on the defensive line. I mean, there's so many kids that got that signed yesterday that I can't even keep up with them. Tim Coleman going to UVA Weiss.
Yeah, no, let's
as well
stop
as
right there.
Derek Thomas. So, I mean, there's 2 guys going there.
Look, we're going to give somebody a lot of love on there because there's 2 things that you need to know, especially inside the city of Huntsville.
Is this for Tim Coleman?
Tim Coleman.
Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's Freak Daddy's son.
Oh,
that's Freak Daddy's son.
Yeah, okay.
So no, and Freak Daddy does a ton with us with the Huntsville Havoc. And he and I will sit on the bench all the time during games and we'll be talking about this. So congrats to Freak on this, because I will tell you that man, as far as a father is concerned, has done a lot of and taken a lot of steps back with a lot of his career so that he could spend more time with his son and take him to all these places that he's been going to and getting recruited. So congratulations to both of them and that family.
Well, I wanted to look over at Huntsville and knock out some names real quick, because me and you, Joe, of course, we got to see a lot of this division because Sparkman's a part of it. We also got to go to the soccer field right down the road. We got to watch this Huntsville Sparkman matchup. Remember some of these names. Remember Dylan Duster?
Yes.
I remember saying this name quite a bit. He's on his way to the University of Cumberlands.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, in the University of the Cumberlands as well is another school that you're going to be able to move up from. See, I know that a lot of people are going to hear this like, why are they mentioning some of these? I promise you, now with the way that National Signing Day is going, with the way that the transfer portal is working and a lot of other stuff, this is going to be a little bit. So there are going to be players that the school that you are signing with doesn't mean that is going to be your final school. So right now it's more about getting reps and getting more stuff on film, because with the way that the NCAA is doing this with the transfer portal, you could have an amazing season and become the FCS leading wide receiver. And you can go from being in an FCS program to the next year being and playing for Ohio State.
Well, at the same time, though, I mean, don't make it out like you can't find success at a smaller school like this, because we've seen plenty of kids from Mercer grow up, stay at the university, and go on into the NFL.
A lot of these, what we're going to be looking forward to when we get to the NFL Combine here in a few weeks. A lot of the fun things are, let's see what schools are there and what players are there from schools that we've never heard of before. And so it was going on. Now we also do have phone calls. Do you want to have you got some more that you want to mention before we go to the phone calls?
There's a lot of names to get to.
Okay. Well,
and there's some from Grissom, Hayden Smith. I mean, we could fly through them, but I want to give them a little bit more time. We do have a show tomorrow, so we'll definitely focus on that. So let's hop into the phone lines. We got Wolverine Dan
Yes.
with us.
Yes.
Wolverine Dan, how you doing, man?
Well, he actually, his son played with my son for a while in soccer, and he was dedicated for his son in this long snapping, and that could, if he's really good, and and he went to training schools for that, and this guy, this young man could possibly, if he does really well, be playing on Sundays. So he's a solid father.
Yes.
Devoted, and just a good person that, unlike Mahomie, which is a flipper flopper, he's a freaking flipper flopper.
See, some people don't like him.
I'll predict. I got the score. I already know the score, and I already know who's going to win this thing. You can't play against the team, and then you also got to play against the officials. Trust me. Trust me. And the NFL, all right, and as far as I'm concerned, that stands for not for long for these officials, because I'd fire them all, because all they're doing is, can't put cash in their pocket. And the NFL wants to see this three in a row with Mr. Flipper Flopper, Homie Womie,
I mean,
I still don't understand why people think it's scripted.
I
really
no,
don't.
no, it's not scripted, but the favoritism is there, Joe. You cannot deny that the favoritism is there. All right. And that's the one thing that's going to stink with this game is whether or not there's less penalties on the Chiefs or there's more. There's going to be some sort of rhetoric around it, and something's going to need to change.
Hey, and the one thing you can rely on, that day, Super Bowl Sunday, there will be a GOAT calling the game, not playing. Because, homie, you're full of baloney. You're a flipper flopper. You ain't never going to be the GOAT, okay? Understand this, my man. Even if you win 3, you still got 4 more to go, okay? And I got something for you. It's called Hutchinson. He's going to bust you a big one, bro. He's going to put you on your back. I'm telling you, the Lions are picking up. They're going to be heavy on the defense side, especially defensive line. Offense is fine, okay? That game, Goff could have won. And the reason why Goff didn't play well the majority of the game is he got targeted and he was seeing stars. And ever since he got hit, he wasn't much of nothing, okay? That happens. You can be the greatest player in the world, but if you get knocked out like that, your mind's scrambled, bro. I don't care how much smelling salts you're going to take. All right, so I'm a little bitter. I don't want to see Philadelphia. Although, you know what? I'll pull it for them because anybody but the freaking flipper flopper.
Love you, Wolverine Dan.
Anybody but the flipper flopper.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Yeah. Yeah.
He's like slowly fading away, but he's still saying it.
I know.
Still saying it. Great stuff from you.
Okay.
Wolverine Dan.
There's so much to unpack.
There is a lot to unpack.
Okay,
and I guess we're getting to the point where we can start talking a little bit more, getting into that transitional point, even though we talked a little bit of Super Bowl earlier.
Okay.
But I'm fine with talking more about it because we have a lot to talk about still.
Let's just go first off. You can't hit Mahomes if you're not in the game.
Yeah. No, he's talking about the future, though. He's talking about the future. The Lions are going to do it in the future.
I'm only saying this because yes, that Lions team is very good,
and he knows the Chiefs are going to be back there. But who knows if the Lions are going to get back there?
And it's also you've got to be in the game, okay? And I'm not. This is not a shot on this. Like this is just true because even like Baker Mayfield or Matthew Stafford's like, oh, we got the greatest team. Lamar Jackson. Oh, we got the. You're not in the game. The moment that you had and the opportunity you had to get into the game, you didn't win. The hit on Jared Goff was not because Jared Goff was dropping back and throwing a pass. It was because Jared Goff was going and trying to tackle a player. And at that point in time, he is a player just like everybody else. The other part is it is crazy to me, and it's not on Wolverine Dan, but it's crazy to me that in America now, the script has gotten flipped so much that people are now on board for Tom Brady being the GOAT, which after all the Super Bowls, when it wasn't like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, they're like, you wouldn't even have a career if it wasn't for a call that got wrong in a snowstorm. Like if it wasn't for the tuck rule, you wouldn't even be who you are now. And now we have guys like, dude, Mahomes ain't going to be the GOAT. The GOAT's up in the booth. I'm just.
He's not the GOAT in the booth, but
we
he is,
literally like the
he is in the
script
booth.
has flipped because used to it be like Brady, you ain't got nothing on Joe Montana. Brady, you ain't got nothing on Terry Brett. Like we
Joe,
used to be there.
When will you understand that people hate the teams that are good? This just happens. If it's not your team and you have a dynasty, there are going to be people that continue to hate on them. Now, you will build a fan base across the whole thing. I'm looking at you.
No, I mean, yes.
But at the same time, you are going to have a majority of the United States hating on the best team because they are not that team.
And I think that for me, it's confusing, or it is something that I get because I probably at some point in time have been this person. You know, I have been like, you know, there was a point in
I
time
didn't like the Patriots.
Well, there was a point in time where I just wanted USC to lose. Like I was just like, please, for all that's holy, just lose a game.
I can see that.
Okay, like it was that bad. But now, and I think it was because of Tom Brady that there was a point in time in my life where I just said, dude, I'm hating on this guy and you know, and I'm tired of seeing him win all this. But at some point in time, I know I'm going to be sitting on the toilet and I'm going to be watching some videos on Facebook of all the great plays that Tom Brady made. And it's going to be in 10 years. I'm going to be like, man, why didn't I enjoy this while he was actually on the field?
And that's what I think we should look at with the Kansas City Chiefs, with what they're doing, because this is a different team that we're looking at. This isn't Tom Brady and his check down passes and Bill Belichick's secret sauce book. This is Andy Reid getting to coach a team that consists of some of the talented players. Now, I will say the main one is Patrick Mahomes. He's not just doing checkdowns. This guy is a cheat code. If he was in Madden right now and you were playing against him, you'd think that he is cheating.
You can't be mad at the Chiefs for drafting the fastest player in the draft when there were 28 other teams in front of them that had the opportunity.
You would have thought they would look at Texas and say, that kid's pretty good.
Like, you can't get mad at Andy Reid for coaching Mahomes when they got rid of Tyreek Hill.
They can't keep getting away with this.
And he goes to Miami, and then you just bring in another one. And you bring in Juju Smith-Schuster that wasn't doing crap beforehand, and he does what he does. You can't get rid of the running backs that you do, and then you get one gets hurt, and oh, look, we're going to bring in another one, and then that one's good. Like, this is it. Like, again, I go back to that 2021, which happened in 2021. They made the Super Bowl with arguably the worst offensive line in Super Bowl history. Yeah. And they still almost won that game. Like it was. And so I'm looking at this. I'm just thinking, enjoy it. Like I get that you don't want the Chiefs to win, but you can't give me a reason other than Patrick Mahomes' family that you don't like it. Yes. Does he get the calls? He's earned the calls. He does.
No. I get that he earns the calls because he's the NFL's biggest money maker.
If this is baseball, a slider on the outside corner for Greg Maddux gets called before a slider from a rookie gets called. Okay,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
LeBron gets a call in the NBA before some rookie playing in his first game gets the exact same call. Yeah. Like it's part of playing in the league. It's part of what happens day in and day out with every sport. You earn the right to be able to get the call from the referees. You earn that. The Texas one, the two players hitting helmets, that was definitely not a call that should have been called.
And there's more than those than we would like to see.
But the referees that are going to be reffing in the Super Bowl have been graded numerous times and are going to be the quote unquote best of the best on the field. The other part of that, you want to go back to the last time these two teams played each other and the way that the Chiefs won that game with the holding call. That was a legit holding call. You just didn't like it because it was happening with 30 seconds to go in the game.
It was back and forth.
But that's what I'm saying is like, it wasn't that the call was bad. It's the fact that it happened at the moment that it happened.
You kind of, at that point, you kind of got to let it feel out. You got to make sure it is a legit, really bad holding call. A lot of people wanted to throw that one up in the air. It could have gone either way. It could have. So that's what you hate about it.
Again, if you look at the ref, and I guarantee you when he went back to the locker room and he's getting graded on it, they're not looking at that play because they're like, yeah, no, you made the right call on that. That by the letter of the law, that is exactly what it was. So I'm trying to figure out why the hate when Tyreek Hill was the one that had all of the allegations towards him, and he's in Miami now. There's nothing on this team that you have seen right now. You could say Kareem Hunt, but there's nothing on this team right now that you can sit and go, this is the reason. What are they doing? What? That's where I'm confused on this.
Well, I want to let you know this. Last time the Eagles and the Chiefs actually played, the Eagles won the game 21-17 back in November 20th, 2023.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
So no, it does count. It does count, but
counts,
it
but it
also
doesn't count.
wasn't Jalen Hurts' best time playing this team because he only had one interception, but he did have a consistent passer rating. But Patrick Mahomes, of course, continued to do amazing things. I want to ask you this before we hop into break because we really got to hop into break. There are 3 other wide receivers drafted before Xavier Worthy, Joe. And they're pretty easy to name off because 2 of them come from the exact same school. Can you name those off for me and tell me whether, well, we'll say it in the next segment, whether or not you would have picked Xavier Worthy above these guys?
All right, we'll do that next when we continue on the Blitz, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WZZN TV.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Super Bowl 59 is on Westwood One.
Eagles are headed to New Orleans. Now the Chiefs are on the doorstep of history, going for a 3rd consecutive Super Bowl.
Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Grant. Join Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Laura Oakman, Gene Steratore, Devin McCourty, and me for all the action right here.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Final segment of the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk here alongside you.
Final segment, best segment is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. People already know that, though. It's the final hour.
And the best hour.
Regardless of that, I asked you a question, Joe. If you would, and this might just be because the Chiefs always have things just fall into their lap, whether, they try to or not. But Xavier Worthy was drafted at the end of that first round, 2024.
I know 2 of them.
I know you know 2 of them. But who could be that third one?
Okay, so
I could give you some hints too.
No,
if
and
you need
I know who he is, as in what team he came from, what team he plays for. I know all that. Just his name is slipping my mind right now. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and then it was Malik Neighbors' teammate. I want to say Michael Thomas, but I could be totally wrong.
Close.
Yeah.
First name different.
Okay. So but it is
Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas Jr. That's what it is. So of the who's now also with Jacksonville.
Yeah. And you also I left one of them out. I meant to throw this one in there. It was Romo Dunze as well.
And then Romo Dunze,
because he
who's now with the Bears.
Yeah, went to the Chicago Bears. But
because that was one that we were really thinking about would come to Tennessee.
Oh, I really liked. Yeah, no, I remember those pre-draft picks, all those mock drafts that they were throwing out there. I gotta say, all of these first-round receivers were pretty big deals for their team. Now, Romo Dunze, he had a little bit back and forth just because his quarterback situation and his team in general.
Yes, and I'm not 100% sure he played in every single game.
No, he was a little bit beat up.
I want to say Malik Neighbors was like breaking team records and stuff. Like he had a fantastic season.
Yeah, no, there were a few games that we saw Marvin Harrison Jr. be out on. Of course, he was a stud as soon as he took the field for the Cardinals. And on top of that, I mean, it's just bizarre.
And so I've got it pulled up, and then you can also, if you really wanted to, you could also throw in Brock Bowers in, hybrid tight end wide receiver as well.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas Jr. was the number one receiver in rookie yards this season. He had 1,282.
He was a beast.
Malik Neighbors had 1,204. And Malik actually played in 2 fewer games than what Brian Thomas Jr. did. Dunze actually did play in every single game. He played in 17. He finished the season with 737. The difference between Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Roma Dunze was that Dunze wasn't the number one wide receiver on that team, whereas Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Brock Bowers were.
Well, they kind of had to be. I mean, all those teams
same with Marvin Harrison.
They kind of fell off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, we had a lot of fun today, and we appreciate you guys joining us. We will be back in 22 hours for a final episode of the week as we get into, of course, the Super Bowl weekend.
Super Bowl!
I can't wait, Joe.
Yes. We will be back then, and Tom Abraham coming up.
Eagle is
not next, but not next.
Right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces.